Well, stocks closed sharply lower on Wall Street this Friday. All the major indexes fell more than 2.5% after earnings by Google and several banks fell short of expectations. And a new survey found consumers are becoming more pessimistic because of what's happening with the economy. The Dow ended the day off 261 points. The Nasdaq was down 70, and the S&P 500 dropped 31 points. Rob Black is here now to talk about your money. A lot of what's happening on Wall Street now is because people are just still nervous, aren't they?
Consumer confidence equals nervous, where my wife wants to get new windows, but I'm afraid I'm going to get laid off. I'm not going to spend money on the economy.
New windows, yeah.
Exactly. And that slows down the economy and the recovery. So a little bit of that's going on today.
There was also some selling today.
Some selling after we had 7 great days, after 9 bad days. Now we may be getting in that phase of selling on the news. Google's earnings weren't great. They're good. Revenue was great. Earnings not so good. So that was also another reason to ring the cash register.
You know, it always confuses me when people say, well, they didn't meet analyst expectations. You can go up, but if you don't meet analyst expectations, then there's a problem. Well, forget the analysts. If you go up, isn't that still good?
I think sometimes you can back out analysts in the short term, but in the long term, no, you can back out analysts in the long term, but the short term, it is important because they're communicating with analysts. They're saying, this is what we expect from Europe, this is what we expect from Asia, and then 60 days later, they don't hit that, and Wall Street gets a little disappointed. Wall Street's got a lot more money.
I know. If you do well, if it doesn't meet what the analysts say.
Every single day, there's no right price or wrong price. There's no correct price on any stock. It's based on, are you excited? Are you upset? Are you beating expectations? Or are you underperforming expectations? But over time, you're right. Great companies, great investments.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Apple. Apple, of course, came out today publicly and finally addressed this issue with the reception problems with the iPhone 4. Stock had been dipping because of the problems over the last week or so. What do you think?
Great buying opportunity. I own shares of Apple. And
how much a share are they now?
About $250.
That's still high.
Today it went a little higher. It went a little lower, a little higher, a little lower. And Steve Jobs ate a little bit of humble pie for the first time in a long time. And that makes me a little nervous because there's a chink in the armor. But with that said, great product. He's right. Other phones have reception problems. Phones aren't perfect. He's not perfect. So I think it's a buying opportunity for a long-term patient investor. It's a $330, $340 stock.
But why does that make you nervous? I mean, Apple, like you said, we're not perfect. Why does everybody expect them to always be perfect?
Because I want the Droid X, and someone else I know wants the Sony HTC, and someone else I know wants. So the competition's catching up. The form factor is pretty much so let's get a flat screen and make it about this thick and throw applications on it. Competition's basically caught up to what he's trying to do. Longer term, he has the head start, Apple does, in apps, but maybe cost comes down as an issue down the road.
Real quick, BP capped the leak for now?
And the stock's going to probably stop going up for now. It's gone up 35% in the last week. Now that we need to quantify the cleanup costs.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Rob Black on this Friday. Thank you for being in, and we'll be back. A lot more news ahead.